Hello. Today I'm going to walk you through the Five Nations questionnaire. The Five Nations questionnaire allows a family to understand its members better and allows expert advisors to be able to craft customized documents that build in the uniqueness of the family dynamics. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to come up here and put in the URL, which will take us straight to the form. The first page of the form basically explains what the form's about. And then the next stage allows us to enter in basic information. This basic information is really important because it serves as a foundation for all the other calculations and all the other work that's going to be done on this questionnaire. I think perhaps the most important question is the client family name. It's important to get this right because the client family name is not simply your surname, it's the root name of the family. So for instance, my grandfather's surname was Akonde, my father's surname was Akonde, and therefore that is our root name. And so I'm going to put in Akonde here. This is important because if you don't use the family root name, then your questionnaire will be orphaned and it won't be aggregated with the other family insights. So that's really important. Then we put in a first name, surname, which happens to be the same in my case, email address, now we get some questions here which are narrative questions. What is your highest hope for this exercise? I'm going to put here, help us share identity with the next generation. Then what nationality, ethnic group were or are your parents? You can put none of the above if none of these actually apply. I'm going to put Nigeria, Yoruba there. At what time period were you born? Okay, I was born in 1960, so this answers mine. Do you own your own home? The answer here is yes. It could be any of these answers. And remember, there are no correct answers. This is just basically trying to fill in profile detail about you. Have you do you have a signed will or a testamentary document, any estate management documentation? Yes for me. Have you lived in the same neighborhood for 5 years or longer? All right, I think the answer there is yes for me. Have you had your primary bank account with the same bank for 5 years or longer? Okay, yes again for me. Earnings level, is your income, savings, or investment adequate for your current needs? Basically, are you do you have sufficient money to basically live, or are you heavily in debt and finding it difficult to have meals and to pay for your accommodation and your running costs? So I'm going to put that there. Yes, in this case. Do you have a friend that you can be unashamedly open and frank with? Somebody you can say everything to? I'd say yes. And that finishes this step 2. So that takes me to step 3. You can see it's fairly easy. It's very easy. Now we get to where we begin to ask questions about the family narrative. That's the family story. And that's important because family members, although they are of the same blood, may have quite different stories or may interpret the family stories in a variety of ways. So the first question here says, which of the following best represents your family's pathway to financial wealth? I'm going to go with the checked. We embrace a testing challenge. How deeply has your family history from previous and current generations influenced the next generation? Say deeply. Remember again, there are no correct answers, and there is no answer that brings a better score. Um, it's not really about, there's no optimal score, there's no best score. There are only different types of family members, and there's no best type of family member. That's important to bear in mind. So it's important because subconsciously you might be trying to game the system or understand the questions and trying to read it well. That's pretty useless because there's a massive algorithm at the bottom of it that's basically doing a lot of heavy lifting. So this is a difficult question, but which of the following activities is your family's principal and current focus? In other words, what's important to the family? Where are you investing all your time and energy and money? Okay, so I would say creating policies. And that takes us to the end of step 3. Moving nicely. Now we're coming to our roles in the family. And I think there are only 2 questions here. So using corporate terms, what is your primary role in the family? Okay, I'll put CEO type, my own case. I mean, CEO means basically you run things and you have the final say. Hair in waiting means that you are strongly influential, and you do have almost like a casting vote. Your vote is really important. Manager means, well, you're given instructions and you execute them. You may have some initiative, but basically you are executing instructions. Team members, the same thing, follows instructions, but perhaps has no one they're really leading, and also make suggestions. And of course, there's also the option of there are no clear rules, and you could easily just put, I don't really know. Okay, so let me see what I'll put for myself. I'll just put, I'll put here, I don't really know. Okay. Then using corporate terms, what is my secondary role in the family? Okay, same thing. I'll put here manager. Okay. And that takes us on to the final step of the exercise. In the final step, you have a series of questions that are really designed to evoke hidden dynamics within the person taking this questionnaire. So there are no answers, and this area I suggest you answer them as intuitively and as quickly as you can. You don't need to look at what's the really deep meanings. Just complete it as you understand it. So here I constantly feel connected to humanity and creation. Somewhat agree. Today, I believe these are a series of statements, and you have to agree to some degree or the other. Today, I believe that my actions have direct impact on future generations of humanity. Okay, I'm not sure about that. And then today, I can feel a strong connection with people who are elsewhere. Okay, somewhat agree. Today, I feel that I live in the past and the present simultaneously. Okay, I strongly disagree with that. Today, I feel a strong connection with earlier generations, even when I scarcely knew them. Somewhat agree with that. When I look back, my life feels chaotic and disrupted. Patterns are only just emerging. Okay, I think I have patterns. All right, strongly disagree with that. The life I have lived so far has coherence and meaning. In other words, everything I've done has some sort of design behind it. There's some sort of coherence and meaning to my life. I'd say somewhat agree. Today, I like to be by myself more than with others. Okay, I'm quite all right. There you go. I love meeting people, but there's so much energy and creativity to learn in these encounters, right? I somewhat disagree with that. Today, being at peace and philosophizing is what creates my wealth. All right, I strongly agree with that. Today, I know I need more than being a high level performer. I somewhat agree with that. It's very important as you feel it to ensure that you're not just taking a neutral stance and saying and feeling so many somewhat agree. Um, it's I think one of the things we can do is to try and look at our feelings and look at what we really feel. And sometimes playing safe is not really who we are, in fact. Okay. Today, material things mean much less to me than a few years ago. Okay, I agree with that. A quiet day at the beach is more productive than meetings and deep desk work. I certainly agree with that. Is money negative? Money exposes negative traits that must be aggressively addressed. Uh, hmm, okay, I'll say maybe I agree with that. Today, I know that lack is not the worst thing that can happen to me. Say I somewhat agree with that. I feel peace with the way I've managed money. I disagree with that. Money doesn't always make things better. La 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 la. That's a difficult one. Okay, let's just assume I'll just put that in. I'm prepared to build a framework. I'll just check all these and just check them. Right, check. Check. Remember, these are just statements, and to the extent that you agree with them, you check the box. Completely appease. And that's basically it. We've done 5 and submit, and you're done. And what will happen is that you will get within time a short report that will explain certain things about your character. We will get aggregated insights on the family that will show us where there are opportunities, where there are risks, things to be changed, and will give us an idea of what's important to the family in this next phase. Thank you so much for listening to this. It's been good sharing, and of course, if you have any questions or you require any clarifications, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me or your family representative. Bye.